Hi everyone, it's Merc007 here, otherwise known as Miss Merc. Thank you so much for joining our tutorial video series presented by Kickstarter. I'm a board game ambassador working with Kickstarter creators in Japan, and I'm here to share advice and supporting your game creation, and also to help you with building a strong community. Today I want to talk about one of the first steps to building your international community. To reach an international audience, I highly encourage you to start with BoardGameGeek, otherwise known as BGG. In this video we will talk about BoardGameGeek and walk through how to register an account, navigate, and post in the forums. BGG is an international board game forum and database. It has over 1.5 million users and over 96,000 games registered. Not only English games, but also games from around the world, including Japan. If you want to design a game and share it internationally, you need to use BGG. When you design a board game, where does building a community fit in? At the end of the process? After you build the prototype? From start to finish? All of them work, but for me, the third scenario will help set you up for more success when you are ready to launch your game internationally. To help a game become successful, you need to build a community, and BoardGameGeek is one of the biggest communities in the world. On BoardGameGeek, you will find a support system. There are many talented people on BoardGameGeek. For example, artists, playtesters, proofreaders, other designers and publishers, and gamers. I've made friends from all around the world. The people you meet on BoardGameGeek can support you and also develop close friendships with you. To use BoardGameGeek, you need to create an account, register your designer or artist, and game name in English into the database. Post some photos as well as some content. Let's start. Using your computer, open up the web page boardgamegeek.com. Remember, you should type in English when filling out the forms. First, create an account if you haven't done so already. Click on Join, it's free. Type in your username, your email address, and password. Click Create an account. An email will be sent to your email address for you to finish the registration. Click on that link. Next, you will need to register your designer and artist name if you haven't done so already. This will create an entry for the designer or artist. You can use this later to link it to your game on BGG. At the top of the page, click on Community. Click on Person. Type in the name in English and a description. If one game has already been registered on BGG, click on Add Board Game Designer Credit or Add Board Game Artist Credit and choose the board game registered. If none of your games are registered on BGG, you can go straight to the Note to Admin section. Type a brief explanation of the designer or artist. For example, Dear Admin, this designer is from Japan. He made the game. Thank you. Then click on Save. This will usually take 2 to 3 days for approval. Next, register the publisher only. If it's not on BGG, click on Community and then Publisher. Type in the name of the company. Type in the description. this can be viewed by anyone. Add some extra information in the note to admin. This is useful for people approving the information. Click on Save. This may take 2 to 3 days for approval. Next, you will need to register your game. This will create an entry for your board game. First, make sure you check the BGG database to make sure no one has registered your board game for you. Click on the search bar and search. If you can't find the name, then you also need to check in the current submission queue. At the top of the page, click on Community. Click on Board Game. At the top is a link to the current submission queue. Click there and search to make sure no one has registered for you. Type in the primary game name. Type in the detailed description of the game. It should include a summary of the game, how to play the game, and how to win the game. Type in a useful short description. Type in the year published, the minimum number of players, the maximum number of players. For example, from 2 to 4 players. Then the minimum player's age. Also, type in the minimum playing time. I usually leave the maximum playing time empty. Click on Add Category and choose some categories for your game. Next, click on Add Mechanism and add in what game mechanics you use, for example, card drafting. Go to the People section. Add the designer and artist if they have already been registered in the BGG database. If you just registered them today, you can skip this section. In the Publisher section, click on Add Publisher and choose Self-Published or the publisher name. Most Dojin games are self-published. You need to also fill out the version information, as many games will be reprinted with different versions. In version nickname, if this is the first time printing this game, put First Edition. Click on Add Publisher and choose Self-Published or the publisher name. Enter in the year published again. This number is usually the same as above. Click and choose the language for the game. Finally, it is a good idea to write something in the note to admin. 1 or 2 sentences is enough. For example, this game is from Japan. I am the designer. Thank you. Then click on Save. The game registration will usually take 2 to 3 days for approval. Now it is time to add photos and content for your game. After a few days, check to see if your game is ready in the search browser. Now that your game is registered, you should add photos. Look in the middle menu bar and click on Images. Choose the files you want and upload them. You must also type in a description for the picture. It's best not to leave your game page empty, especially in the forums area. You should try to add a conversation post so visitors that look at your page will click on it and read it, or interact with you and continue that conversation. Look in the middle menu bar and click on Forums. Then click on New Post. click and choose the forum category in the drop-down. Usually it is the general forum. Enter in a catchy title. Then type in the description to start a conversation with the community. It is a good idea to also ask a question. This will get the conversation going. You can add pictures from BGG. Each image on BGG has an ID. Or you can add external images. Click Preview to check your post. If it looks okay, click on Submit. If you want to come back to the page quickly, I recommend you use the Add Shortcuts area. This is very useful. I use it all the time. When you are at the page you visit the most, go to the quick bar at the top left corner and click on the plus sign. Type in a name that you can easily remember. You can add up to 100 shortcuts this way. How do you start building your community? There are many ways to start reaching your audience or fans using forums or Discord. If you are not confident with English, don't worry. I have some tips for you. Also, you need to create a conversation with the international audience. Here are the useful tips. Introduce yourself. It is a good idea to introduce yourself to the community by adding some content. You can use Google or DeepL Translator. The DeepL Translator is more natural, so I recommend that one. If you're using a translator like DeepL, I recommend, if you do so, post the English at the top and the Japanese at the bottom like this. Update your profile on BGG. Your profile is a place where many people visit. You should write a summary about yourself and about your gaming life in Japan. There are many international gamers who are looking to connect with game designers in Japan, so use it to your advantage. Also, you can put a link to your other social media accounts here, so people can contact you. To update your profile, click on your name and choose Profile. Then click on the pencil icon. Type in your summary and add your URLs. Click on the URL button. In the first bracket, add =, and the URL link. Then inside the two URL tags, add a small description like so. Post about your game. I recommend you post something to introduce your game with a couple of photos. For example, on BoardGameGeek, you can post in your game forum. This way the game page is not empty. You can write a short introduction or how you designed the game. Since people will come here to check out the game, it is important to not have a game registered with not much information. Post in the design forum on BGG. One of the forums that is useful for designers is the Board Game Design Forum. If you don't want to post in your game forum directly, this is the next best place to post. Here you can introduce yourself as a game designer and ask questions about your game. Think of a question that can help you with an aspect of your game. Any question is fine. For example, you haven't decided whether to use white borders on your cards. So you can ask, do you like cards with white borders or no borders? This is a great way to bounce ideas and to check and see if your game is ready for international release. Sometimes themes or names may not translate well into another language, so it is good to check first. You can also DM me on Twitter or ask the Kickstarter team for help. Asking questions on the forums is a great way to engage with the community, to start building interest into your game. Subscribe to threads on BGG to easily respond to comments. Any post you write that you want a notification on, you should subscribe to it. To subscribe to a post, click on the subscribe button. When another person writes a reply to your post, you'll be notified in the little bell at the top right. Click on the bell image and you can see your subscriptions. You can then quickly click to reach the post easily, so you can reply back to any questions asked. Announcing your game launch. If you have a game going on to Kickstarter, you can post in this area. There are two places you need to post, and it may be a little difficult as you need to link both of them. Direct message me on Twitter and let me know if you need help with this. Chat about other games. Finally, another good way to start reaching your audience is to chat in the forums about other games that you like. If you like Terraforming Mars, go to that game and look at some posts and respond. The first few times you can prefix the response with something like, I'm a designer from Japan. Then continue with your message. For example, I'm a designer from Japan. Ooh, I like that game mechanic also. We play Terraforming Mars once a month with my game group. This is a good way to get your name out there. Gamers really like to meet designers from around the world. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial video. There are many other ways to continue to build a community, and we can support you on that. Building your community early on is crucial in helping your game grow and reaching a wider audience. If you need help, please let the Kickstarter team know. You can also check out our other tutorial videos on how to playtest online with an international gaming community, how to launch an effective Kickstarter campaign, and more. Check out the links in the description. Bye for now!